everyone, and welcome back to Alpine Intel's The Savvy Adjuster podcast for our mini episode about commercial kitchen fires. I'm your host, Senior Account Manager Chris Nichols, joined again by National Fire Experts Certified Fire Investigator Mark Howard. Now, in our previous episode, we got a broad view of kitchen fires, which covered a lot, specifically of residential concerns. But we'd like to take this mini episode and take a few minutes to dive into some of the unique concerns about commercial fires, which can include things like restaurants, hotels, cafeteria. First off, though, Mark, thanks for joining us again today.
Thanks for having me.
So, on the last episode, we really got a chance to dive into residential kitchen fires, find out a lot about what goes into an investigation like that. But want to talk about commercial kitchen fires now because those claims obviously we see a lot as well. Can you tell me at a very high level what differentiates commercial kitchen fires from residential kitchen fires?
Well, the commercial kitchen fires are a much larger scale, obviously, because the structures are bigger, the equipment's bigger, there's more equipment. And a lot of times these investigations get expanded into where you have joint studies and multiple parties involved, um, multiple engineers, sometimes heavy equipment. So it's just a much larger scale to process a scene, but yet those steps to get the investigation started to completion are the same. It's just on a bigger scale.
Sure. Yeah. Um, and is there any additional or different equipment that might be on scene? I mean, I'm assuming the answer is yes because it's commercial, but can you speak to different types of equipment that might be on scene versus a residential kitchen fire?
As far as the appliances that are involved, you mean?
Yeah, I would say appliances. I'm sure, like we mentioned a couple examples at the beginning, restaurant, hotels, cafeteria. I'm sure they have different cooking equipment, deep fryers, things like that. So just some different things you may see on a commercial claim versus a residential fire.
Absolutely. In these settings, they have hood systems, duct systems, fire suppression systems, uh, deep fryers. You don't see large deep fryers in residential settings most of the time. Sometimes you do. But there's the different types of equipment, the the ventilation systems that are required, these fire suppression systems that are required for that to be there. It's just on a much larger scale. And then to investigate that, now you've got a lot of people involved. So you've got the product manufacturer, you've got the person who installed the equipment, you've got the individuals that put the fire suppression system in. Did the fire suppression system activate? Didn't it activate? There's so many factors that go into investigating a commercial larger kitchen fire than you have in a residential fire. So many more parties. A lot of times you have to have heavy equipment to even get to the kitchen. A lot of times you have to have the heavy equipment to even remove the equipment. So
Yeah, interesting. But to your point, residential or commercial, NFE still conducts all of its investigations, I should say, with our 11-step investigation process. So you're doing that systematic approach to it here. What you kind of beat me to the punch. My next question was, what other parties may be involved in a commercial kitchen fire claim versus a standard residential? But can you recap that again? I know you mentioned, and I didn't think about this until we're recording this, but the person that installed the unit, things like that you just don't think about. Can you kind of recap again what other parties may be involved as far as a commercial kitchen fire versus a standard residential fire?
sure. So I mean, just picture any kind of a restaurant or a truck stop that has cooking stoves and ovens and appliances, deep fryers in it. So you're also liable to have us back to the landlord tenant situation because you may have a building owner and then you may have someone that owns the restaurant that's inside of that building. So when it comes to large commercial equipment, you've got the manufacturers of those griddles, you've got the manufacturers of the stoves, you've got the manufacturers of the deep fryers, and then with all those, you've got and I say you've got the manufacturers. So these are all parties that would have interest in whether their product caused the fire or their workmanship caused the fire, right? So they're interested parties that could be in this. So then you've got the installers of all those cooking devices. And then you've got someone that engineered the proper hood system and fire protection system for those cooking devices. So now you've got another party involved. And then the commercial kitchens are required to be inspected a couple times a year at a minimum. And so now you've got the company that inspected the fire suppression system would be a party of notice as well. So it just expands tremendously when you have a commercial structure like that.
It sounds like it. Well, but that speaks to the advantage of using somebody like National Fire Experts with years and years of experience in dealing not only with maybe smaller residential kitchen fire claims, but these larger, more expansive commercial kitchen fires with, gosh, I think I heard 5, 6, 7 additional people could be involved in the inspection. So definitely, it's a value to our listeners and our adjusters to lean on National Fire Experts to go out and do a full on-site inspection there. But well, great. Well, this is a mini episode, so that is our time. But I do appreciate you joining me again here, Mark.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly learned a lot, and I'm sure our listeners did as well. And listeners, make sure you never miss an episode, as always, by subscribing to the Savvy Adjuster podcast. We are on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks again for listening today, and we'll see you next time.